The Divine Bitch Podcast. Wake up, be aware, and live your life fully. Welcome to a new episode of the Divine Bitch Podcast. Join us when we journey into awareness, explore what it truly means to wake up, expand your consciousness, and live your life with presence.
Shamanism, rituals, and ceremonies is what we're going to talk about in this episode, Anja.
I'm very happy to hear that.
I know.
My heart opens up. Yeah.
We'll start with shamanism.
Mm-hmm.
What resonates with you in shamanism, Anja?
Shamanism has definitely been a big path in my life. For those who don't know what shamanism means, it's basically healing processes through connection with nature, if I would summarize it. Mm-hmm. It's often what our ancestors still had in their blood. It's often what Aboriginals still practice today in terms of rituals and so on. But it's, so to speak, the pre-historical way of dealing with medicine. Yeah, so it's knowledge that was passed on from generation to generation about how to heal people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what is in resonance with you?
I think if I hadn't discovered shamanism, I would probably be sitting here in a very different constellation. I am really, really happy that shamanism came on my path, that I was able to experience it. Because for me, it was the beginning of a very big healing process. Also, a realization that who I was found resonance in the outside world as well. And I did not specifically experience that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the perception that many people resist shamanism. They have an opinion about it, and they categorize it under something that is maybe old and forgotten and maybe is not serving anymore in this modern time.
It could be. I definitely think there's a lot of different perceptions around shamanism. Often it is made fun of. You can see that. I mean, whenever ancestral knowledge is portrayed, it's sometimes mixed up with funny dances and things that are considered non-scientific. But I believe that in today's world, there's a lot more attention to shamanism than there was, roughly 30 years ago. So there is also a clear revival, I would say, of interest in shamanism. There's many more people today who are discovering the power of ceremony, for instance, who are discovering the healing power of plant medicine. But obviously, it's still called this alternative route to healing, whereas this has been around for ages. It's the modern medicine that we know that is the alternative medicine, because, our Western medicine is not that old. It's not passed on from generation to generation. It's usually developed by pharmaceutical companies, whereas there's so much wisdom in how to get healing from plants in nature, for instance, that wisdom is how many 1,000 years old? I wouldn't know, but a lot longer than our Western
maybe
medicine.
60 or 70 years of Western medicine and science. Yes.
Exactly.
You used the word already. There are two different words. We have rituals and we have ceremony. And the first I want to dive into is rituals. Rituals give form to what otherwise would be unconscious.
Yes. Rituals are daily practices that you do to remind yourself of something. A good example of a daily practice is that you pray. Yeah? You pray and you are thankful for the day you had. You are thankful for your health. You are thankful that there were no challenges on your road that day. That's a good example of a ritual. Or you wake up, you salute the sun, you feel the lights go into your body when you step outside barefoot. That's a good ritual. It's small daily practices that really help you to become conscious of those things that you would otherwise forget. And by explicitly doing them and committing to doing them, you don't forget. So they become really part of your conscious field. Yeah.
Yes, reminds, the intention reminds whatever it brings you, the ritual, and especially remember yourself in that part also.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you know, for some people, getting up and taking a shower very consciously, you know, feeling how the water falls down on your body can be a ritual. For instance, if you've been addicted for a long time in your life, you don't necessarily feel your body anymore. And then a good ritual could be to just stand 5 minutes under the shower and literally feel how the drops fall onto your body. That could be a really good ritual. If you commit to that, your bodily, your sensors and your bodily awareness becomes much bigger. Yeah.
So again, rituals are actually moments where you consciously slow down and percept your reality more.
Yeah, exactly. It's through a certain repetition as well, because you know that you're going to commit to doing that. You have like 21-day rituals, for instance, but it's usually small things. Yeah,
Especially small things.
Especially small things that have a big impact, I would say. Yeah.
And then ceremonies. What is a ceremony compared to a ritual?
I would say that ceremony is a set of rituals that you mostly do in group around a very specific intention. Ceremony can be done at special moments in life, like adulthood, weddings, the passing away of somebody. It's where you come together as a community to work around a specific theme. And you use specific rituals in that ceremony to get where you want. For instance, if someone passes away, it can be a way to make sure that the grief around that passing away is shared in a community, for instance. And then specific rituals are often brought into the ceremony to make sure that, you know, there's a structure in it that is carried by all the participants. Yeah. I did your wedding ceremony, so that would be a good one to talk about.
I remember.
Right.
I remember.
How was that for you? I'm really curious, because that's probably going to be a good way to express the ceremony.
How was it for me? It was uncomfortable and also very, very natural. And the uncomfortable part was me feeling a lot, having a lot of emotions, having an experience that was very grounding for me. It was allowing myself to have these emotions with the people that I love, that I care about, and also together with Christina, my wife, being the center of that ceremony.
Yeah.
And just being there with those people you love around you, and also you, of course, with your husband, Kevin, taking care of the whole ceremony, and then letting things happen as they happen.
It's true. It was not rehearsed at all.
No, and it's not about rehearsal. It's not about perfect timings and things to happen. But we look back very often, or we think about it very often in a moment in our lives, and not only in our lives, but all of everybody that was there. Everybody was invited to slow down, to feel, to connect, and to just be part of what opened up that day.
Exactly. And it's not something that we are used to here in Western society, for sure. And is there resistance to it? Yes, clearly. But what happens is, if you stay grounded in that space, that resistance goes away automatically. And then you see something that is way bigger than just a combination of the rituals. You see that people get closer to who they really are, and that the connection between all the participants of that community gets a lot stronger. And then you get small presents afterwards, people sharing what it did to them, And then you realize, okay, we should do more ceremony. Even if our culture today is no longer embracing it, whenever we do it, even with people who are not used to it, it always brings a lot of joy, a lot of connection, and a feeling that it's okay to do that, to be just, that it's part of our human nature. Yeah.
And again, thank you for that day.
Thank you. It was
Thank
really
you for bringing it up.
It was really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the next sentence: is conscious living is daily spirituality. Because I started with the sentence, life is a ceremony, and we've been talking about rituals and shamanism and ceremonies now also. And how do you relate with life is a ceremony instead of ceremony is
As a practice.
as a combination of rituals?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it from a purely structural point of view, we all have our daily rituals. I mean, we get out of bed at a specific time, we wash ourselves, we get ready for the day, we prepare, we do some meditation or some yoga, we go to work or we work from home. I mean, our whole life is built around specific rituals. That in itself is not so different. So the kind of rituals that you choose will obviously then also influence your life. And I was just giving an example of somebody that wakes up and then meditates and does yoga. Yeah. Doing that will give a different direction in your life than getting up out of bed, going to work, television, sleep, and so on. So what we call ceremony or rituals are for the Native Americans daily practices. They don't call it necessarily ceremony. For them, it's so much part of their culture that you cannot distinguish it from what they would normally do. Yeah. Here we start to use ceremony again because we want to focus on conscious living, and we want to use those things that our ancestors were using and introduce them back into our lives. So it's more returning to what we already knew as our life than just introducing something new.
What is the difference between a habit and a ritual for you?
The consciousness that you put on that. A habit can be both conscious and unconscious. A ritual is something that you commit to. You choose to integrate that specific set of actions in your daily life. Yeah. And because it's conscious, because you choose it so clearly, focus is much higher as well. A habit is often, how shall I say it? Even if it's a good habit, it's more, it comes from routine, not necessarily something that is initiated from the soul. Yeah.
I knew I asked the question.
Yeah. I knew you were going somewhere.
Yeah, but it came up, and for me, it was very clear. And I was like, "Hey, this is something that I have to ask because it is a very clear distinction, and it can be completely the same thing that you experience, but very often in an unconscious or in a conscious way, or if I reflect on habits myself, in a very functional way.
Yeah.
When I do A, B will be the result.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had a morning routine, and the morning routine could have been a ritual, but at that time, for me, a few years ago, it was based on habits.
Yeah.
And those habits, they would benefit because doing this, doing a breath work would result in this, taking a cold shower would do this, meditation would do this. So for me, the habit was rationalized and functional.
Yeah, exactly. And where a ritual is much more conscious, it's much more embodied. There's much more depth to it as well.
Yeah, you're very. I experience myself. I'm a lot softer, and softness means I'm not tensed. I'm focused in the moment, and I'm perceptive. My sensory, I smell, I taste. You pay attention to everything that is, instead of okay, I'm doing this because of that. On to the next one.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that, because I remember that I did an ice bath, and I remember telling you up front, I will do that, but know that I will probably be making a lot of noise. Because not so much because I like making noise, but that I know the impact cold has on my body. And because I was able to share that with you up front, I had a full experience. And I remember when I let go of the anger, of feeling that cold, that something in that ice bath happened to the others as well. So that for me was much more ceremony than a habit, to be honest. And I know a lot of people see taking an ice bath as a habit, which is fine. It's fine. But I prefer to then get into the full experience because we don't do that on a daily basis. But being there and fully aware of what happens to my body has really shifted a lot of things inside of me.
So it's everybody for themselves making a conscious choice of how you are doing what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's really taking the time to focus on what you will be doing as well. Because I could have easily made an appointment to do an ice bath, but I really spent 2 weeks in advance, and visualizing how that would work, knowing that I would be in pain, knowing that I would be surrounded by other people, knowing that I would want to transform what I was going through. I did a quick check up front, but I saw what happened when I did that. There was a lot of people scared in that ice bath who let go of their emotions. So again, use it as in a ceremonial way.
And just unapologetically be yourself.
Exactly.
Because like you said, what you did there, showing your authentic self, expressing what you felt at that time, gave space to all those other people to experience what they were experiencing.
I remember that. Yeah, you could feel a bigger connection with everybody in that ice bath because of it, even though it was a bit weird for most of them. I could see that on their faces as well.
It's not about the
weirdness.
That's
fine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I was completely at ease with that. It's what was happening on the inside, and other people were quiet, so they didn't expect it. But that's fine. I mean, it was well embraced.
And they felt it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I did too.
It's something that, it's my own experience too. A few weeks ago, we came together with friends, and we were just openly sharing how the year has been. And in one of the previous episodes, I said it before myself. It's 2025 was the year of meeting myself as the bastard. And in moments I had hard times, really honestly, and it was intense. And at that time, it was an intense period too. And I really had a hard time expressing what I felt, and I showed tears. My voice was trembling, and I said what was resonating for me perfectly, and I'm perfectly capable of doing that. I know that myself. And somebody later in the circle, a friend of us, she said, "Thank you for showing up." She said, because when you showed yourself in a vulnerable way, I felt space opening up for me to be myself more.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same thing as you were sharing now. It's just, again, just being yourself in an authentic way opens up so much, not only for yourself, but especially for everybody in the same place at that time.
Yeah, because you have a specific vibration, and that vibration resonates with the other nervous system. So for sure, it takes a little bit of courage sometimes, but always see what the impact has. It's never going to be a negative impact.
Maybe that's the ceremony we can all bring back into our lives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do, and luckily I see more of that now. There's a lot of cacao ceremony, breathwork ceremonies, wedding ceremonies as well, more in the authentic way. Also what we do with potlucks when somebody passes away. It's a very good way of sharing grief, for instance, and being very consciously aware that you are grieving for the person that, has passed on. So I'm glad to see that, because it brings great comfort to people as well. And to share pain in community is different than going through pain yourself on your own.
Something that can be very unbearable.
Yeah.
Alone becomes very bearable when you open up and you share about it.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of suicide still in Western Europe, which means that people are dealing with a lot of stuff on their own. And I think that was the strength of ceremony, is that we can create a community where we can go through this together. Now, whether or not with plant medicine, I mean, that's irrelevant, but it's all those small daily practices that we are reintroducing in our lives here. That's a good thing. I'm glad with that.
For me, and that was already clear, but now giving words to it makes it even more clear that actually ceremony is about, again, the depth that you allow yourself to experience in that moment. And you can use different rituals in a ceremony, but maybe even the rituals you use are less relevant than you showing up for yourself.
Exactly. It's the sharing in a community. I mean, just being there and making sure that you are fully present in that moment, because I think that's really the key. That in itself has so much healing power. I mean, being held by other people who go through the same thing is a very strong thing. And that's what's so hard sometimes when you go through something and you cannot really express what you're feeling, then you get stuck, which is not the case in ceremony, because you are all there in that same space, stuck or living it.
Living it together.
Yeah.
Ceremony can be filled with rituals, like you used the word already, plant medicine.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your experience being in ceremony or guiding ceremonies with plant medicines, or without plant. It's all plant medicine.
Yeah, it's with or without plant medicine. For me, it is not always something that makes me happy when I'm doing ceremony. Often when I go through it, I live it in quite an intense way. If I use plant medicine, I always make sure not to overuse, because I'm quite sensitive to the medicine in itself. I've got really strong experiences. And it takes me about a week to integrate usually what has happened. To integrate the first, to how shall I say it? Is it integration? It's not integration in full, but to embody the experience. It takes me at least 7 days usually, because it's so intense and it's so rich that gradually I get grounded again. And then the real process starts, because then you get a lot of insights, or that's at least what happens with me and with my clients as well. You get a lot of insights and you need to do something with that. I want to avoid getting addicted to ceremony as such, because I see that a lot here as well. It's ceremony after ceremony after ceremony. For me, that's like a little bit too fast, because there's so many things happening in there, so many insights that you are getting, so many things that I journal about, so many things that I dream about afterwards, that it takes me, a long time to process it all. I love doing ceremony where we rent a place with friends for a week and we try different medicines and we do cacao and so on, where we actually share experiences together, and not always in words. What I love is to be able to cook together, to share food together, to just sit there and maybe sing some songs afterwards. It's not about the narrative of what happens to you. It's about going through it together and always not understanding, not looking for the words, and being with people who are not looking for words, but who accept that the experience in itself is really worthwhile. I notice big changes in my identification every time I do ceremony. I always learn a lot more about who I am not. And the who I am is becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. Yeah. So for me, I could not go through life without ceremony.
Life is a ceremony.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not possible.
Yeah, it's really part of who I am today. Yeah.
Is there something that you want to advise the listeners? How do you know for yourself where to start? Because many people are interested and are looking for it. And again, like you said, it's not about needing ceremony.
No.
It means you feel something resonates, but how do they start? How do they...
Yeah.
Yeah, where did they start?
A good way to start with ceremony is to visit your local yoga club. Often what happens is after yoga, people will all drink tea together. Yeah. Or they will play some music instruments together. Or they will, sing a mantra together. Or lie down on the floor together after the yoga session is over and just feel the floor. Those are spaces where people are familiar with rituals, the yoga spaces. Then if you're interested in using plant medicine, then I would say choose an organization that guides you through it in a way that you can turn inward. Yeah, organizations that will teach you how to be really focused on yourself, that provide safety as well. For instance, people who provide headphones so you can really have your own experience, and make sure that you have enough time to integrate afterwards. Don't do an ayahuasca ceremony and go to work the next morning. Yeah. I mean, then you have some benefit of the ceremony, but the whole integration part will be a lot more complicated. I would say take it serious. I mean, it is a serious practice. It's not something you do whilst on holiday to have a quick, because it's quite trending at the moment. Yeah?
I know, that's why I'm asking.
So try and take it serious, because there's a lot of wisdom in those ceremonies and we don't want to disrespect that. Find an organization that takes itself serious. Ask about safety. Can you stay overnight? Can you go inward and so on? That's definitely something that I would suggest. Yeah.
And not only take ceremony seriously, but take yourself seriously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, your intention to start ceremony is very important. Think about it before you go into ceremony. What do you want ceremony to bring you specifically? And work with that. Yeah.
I have a beautiful sentence again. Ceremony slows time so that the truth can surface. The timeless experience is definitely something that I know from being in ceremony. I mean, Me too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes we do 11-hour sweat lodges, and it's like an hour has passed. Yeah, the timeless aspect is definitely very strong there, because you're in a different state, even without plant medicine. Being in a drum circle for 5 hours, you will not notice that 5 hours have passed by. You're in a different dimension because it's connecting with your soul, and the soul does not know space nor time. But it's something you have to experience. Yeah. Yeah.
And about the integration afterwards, what is one of the key components for you of integration? We've talked about in a previous episode of safety too.
Yeah. What I do after ceremony is I do specific grounding exercises to make sure that the experience becomes embodied. I need to feel very grounded again afterwards. And usually what happens for weeks after ceremony, I will have specific dreams. So I will journal a lot. I will journal a lot about what these dreams are showing me, and I will journal about what happened in ceremony. Not to remember it constantly, but just to process it, to integrate it, because writing it down, the narrative makes it a very earthly experience again. What happens usually is that like 5 months or 6 months after the ceremony, something will happen and say, okay, that's what happened there. Yeah, now I understand it. The understanding usually gets a lot later in the process. Yeah, and we usually do ceremony when ceremony calls us. It may sound a bit strange, but all of a sudden I get this calling saying, okay, do sweat lodge, and then I'll do it. I will not plan it. I will definitely not plan another one when I finish a ceremony. It doesn't work for me like that. It's just like, okay, I feel I need to do ayahuasca, for instance. Yeah.
So also following your intuition and your knowing, of course.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about wanting something. It's you feel that something is calling you.
It's calling me, and then I surrender to it. Usually I call up some of my friends saying, okay, I feel that this is coming up. Are you interested to join? And those who feel it will come. Those who don't, well, will find each other soon again. I mean, and then surrender to what happens in the process. Yeah.
Yeah, the surrendering and also the acknowledgement of the perfection.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Very often I remember myself when doing ceremony that sometimes very late people are not able to get there, or things happen and come in between, and there's so many things happening, and I experience it myself that you can see the perfection of everything. Everything as it happens, it's perfect.
There for a reason.
It's perfect, and it's there for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's also a way of looking to life for me. That is, in the sentence, life is a ceremony. Because if you take a step back and it happens that it can be just in 24 hours that you have intense experiences, and you take a step back and you reflect on them, that you can really see the perfection in the spoken words, in the things that happened, in the people showed up or did not show up, in any interaction you had, as if it's a script of a movie.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, indeed. I know what you mean.
And it's just how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And when life is treated as sacred, you are sacred.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why deal with ceremony in a respectful way, because it is part of who you are. And if you cannot do that respectfully, then you're probably not treating yourself respectfully either. But it's just, because it's a way of being. It's not something you do. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the key message.
Yeah, it is.
What is more in the book about shamanism, Anja?
There are definitely some exercises if you want to start practicing shamanism. It's really a connection with nature that is explored. I also express in the book that it's not something to be scared of. Even if it may seem weird in the beginning, you will notice soon enough that it's quite natural, that it's very natural to who we are. So again, start with some light exercises like finding your power animal, something like that, because it will bring a lot for yourself. And also if you have little children love shamanism. They love to explore with nature, they love to explore with animals and so on. So it might be good to, as a next Christmas gift, do some shamanistic workshops with your children.
Yeah, or buy a book.
Or buy a book, indeed, to really start understanding what it really is.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for joining us on the path of awareness. Pay attention, open up, and remind yourself that awareness is not a destination. It's a way of life. See you in the next episode.